fish from the bone, take out the bone and...
Right. We're not talking about in the process at the time of eating.
Oh, so what's he talking about?
Oh, you mean Bet Shammai?
Yeah.
It's mashma, yeah, because it says borer ochel ve'ochel. So you're allowed to take good and eat it at the time.
Okay, so he's
But-
not telling you anything.
But right, that's always permissible, even
Right.
on Shabbat. So
Right.
what is it saying? No, when he says ve'ochel, it doesn't mean that it's a time of eating. It means that you should take only good. That's why it says something that you're going to eat. Take something that you're going to eat, but it doesn't mean that you're going to eat. You have to eat it immediately. You can eat it later also.
Well, what does it say? Bet Hillel, it says usual way. What does it mean?
Okay, let's switch to Bet Hillel. So far we were discussing Bet Shammai.
Oh, Bet Shammai.
We were discussing Bet Shammai. Bet Shammai say that you're allowed to take good from bed only. Ochel, which means whatever. It doesn't. Yeah, Misha is pointing out, taking out at the time of eating might not be borer, even if you're taking bad from good. Even if you're taking a bone from a fish, it's not asur, because this is the way of eating. Chachomim poskim extended even to the cantaloupe. Cantaloupe that you cut and you're taking out seeds that's inside, you're allowed to take them out because it's called derech achilah. It's a way of eating.
Oh.
So Misha's pointing out.
So what is he saying?
What is the chiddush then? We're saying no. We're saying that he's not eating that cantaloupe now. You are preparing food. You're preparing for the Suda that's going to come later.
Mm-hmm.
And according to Bet Shammai, one is only allowed to take good from bed. Just like on Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes?
What if someone has an allergy? Let's say I'm allergic to raw carrots. Am I allowed to take out the raw carrots before I eat the salad?
This is a practical question. Or are you really allergic to raw carrots?
It's a very specific example.
Interesting. Wow. I thought carrots were like the
No,
most
let's say-
healthy.
So let's say there's, coleslaw on the table and it's like 5-6 carrots.
You don't want to eat them.
I don't want to eat them.
Can you take out the carrots? The answer is no. You only
But I can
allowed to
eat
take
around
the
it.
other stuff. Yes.
But on your plate, if you put it on your plate, then you can do it, no? If you put it on your plate.
No.
Oh, you still can?
No.
I thought it was... if you do it
Well,
on
even if it's in your plate, you know.
What's the
Even
difference
if
if
it's
it's on
an
your plate or
allergy.
not?
No, because it's...
Not because I want to, but because...
Even if it's allergy, yeah. Even if it's allergy, because at the end of the day, you don't want it. Okay. The only heter is if it's in your hand and you're eating it, then you're allowed to take bad from good, like a bone from the fish.
So you can bite out the bone and spit it out.
Yes, you could take out the bone right before you, or right before you're putting it in your mouth. You could take out the bone from the fish because that's a derech achilah.
Right.
That's we allow.
Also, Rabbi, I thought there was no border with the mouth.
Well, that's what it means. That once it's in your, it's derech achilah, it's no border. Okay. Bet Hillel omrim borer kedarcho bechiko. Bet Hillel allow even bad from good. Why? Because he is doing it with his hand. He's doing it for the Suda, and on Yom Tov we are more mekel than on Shabbat, and we allow it. We allow it because it's ochel nefesh. It's for food.
And why does Beis Shammai doesn't hold by that? That it's
Yeah, as all those would point. Beit Shammai don't hold of that. Exactly why? Because they equated, just like I explained in the beginning, that borer became prohibited because people usually did a lot at the time.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's
So
with
if
Rabbanan.
it became prohibited, Beis Hillel didn't hold by that prohibition?
Yeah, but Hillel, but Hillel said that there is a certain leniency to allow. Not everything is prohibited. In certain situations, prohibited of borer, like we'll see later on, that if it's a kli that's made for burirar, like sif, then it's prohibited. But if it's less than that, it's not a professional utensil, then we allow it. Now we're going to give examples. Bikanon, it's a type of a plate where they did brirah. Big tamchui is a big tray. Avalo b'tabla, but not with a tabla, which is translated as a platform where they made a big platform where they made brira professionally. V'lo b'napa, not with a sieve. V'lo b'kvara, not even the biggest sieve. There's two sizes. Napa is a smaller sieve. Kvara is a bigger sieve. So you see that Rabbi Hillel delineate that certain utensils are prohibited. If this is the professional way to do it, it's prohibited. Rabbi Gamliel Omer, af madiach v'shaleh. Rabbi Gamliel holds that you are allowed to even put it in the water so that the chaff, the lighter one, comes up. This is prohibited on Shabbat because let's say I have rice, or I have beans, or I have vegetables, fruit, even apples, and I want to wash them, and I submerge them in water, and then the dirt comes up. Rice, I put it in the water, and let's say lighter dirt comes up. Would you say that it's prohibited or mutar?
No, it's natural way, right? Isn't it like, that's how so you're naturally soaking the rice, let's say.
But you're right, it's natural. But
you're causing it to
because
separate.
the nature of this act takes out the bad from good. You're just dropping the good, and then bad is separated. So you're really separating bad.
But it's passive, it's not active. The
No,
water does it, not you.
Your act of dropping it in is equivalent of
Sifting?
extracting the bad.
But you know
And
it's
it's an
gonna
act,
get extracted.
and it's an act.
I'm
What?
saying you know it's gonna get extracted, so you're doing it on purpose, you know?
And you know it, and you're doing it on purpose.
Where do you apply
In short,
their
it's
code?
prohibited.
Their code.
Kedarkom is
Kedarkom.
in its own, in its regular way.
That's not the regular.
Derech, like derech.
This is
No, I
regular
know,
way.
I know.
This is regular way. That's why only Rabban Gamliel allows it. Rabban Gamliel at the end of the Mishnah says Rabban Gamliel Omer av mediach v'sholeh. Mediach v'sholeh is exactly what I am describing to you now, separating it through water. The Bet Hillel did not allow it. Bet Hillel, basically Bet Hillel, who was even more lenient than Ben Hillel was Rabban Gamliel.
Wow.
Okay? It says the Gemara, Tanya, we learned in the Bride, Amar Rabban Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel said, Tomed var mamanim b'sh'ochel meruba al psolet. Rabban Gamliel said, what is this mission talking about? When edible, ochel meruba al psolet. Now we know that there is two, when it comes to borer, we are interested in two words, two main words. One is ochel, something that I want. Psolet, something that I don't want. It comes from the pasul, right? Invalid. So, Rabban Gamliel wants to say our mission is talking about. So now we could have two types of mixtures. One mixture where the edible, something that you want, is bigger than the inedible, and another mixture where inedible is bigger than the edible. So on Shabbat, it doesn't make a difference what's more. You're never allowed to take bad from good, even if it would be easier. What's easier, to take out what's greater or what's bigger? Well, example. Let's say I have a pile of apples and I have some leaves in it. Some leaves. And I want to make it presentable. I have 2 or 3 leaves and I have 10 apples. And I want to make it presentable. Just pick out the leaves and everything is nice. The answer is no, I have to take out 10 apples and leave the 3 leaves inside. So on Shabbat, I gotta do
The opposite.
always good from bad.
So you take the apples.
On Yom Tov, I have a choice. I could do leaves also.
According to Beis Hillel.
According to our Mishnah. Yeah, according to our Mishnah. So that's what Rabbi Gamliel said. Rabbi Gamliel said, in our Mishnah that it says you have to take you have to take in our Mishnah where Beit Hillel said that you could take the bed, but Hillel paskin in our Mishnah you could take the bed out. There's only ochel meruba al psolet. That's because there's a lot of good and a little bad. So we allow, but Hillel allow to take bad. But if there is less good and a lot of bad, then divrei hakol, everyone agrees that you have to take the good and leave the psolet. Okay, Gemara says, psolet meruba ala ochel miikaman deshari. Are you allowed to take? Gemara asks, are you allowed to take bad from good, lo tzricha de nafesh betircha v'zuter b'shiura. We say, in this case, you are allowed to because it's nafesh betircha. It has a lot of work. If there is a little bit of bad and a lot of good, to take out good only would make you work very hard. So therefore, Chachamim allow you to take out bad. Only on Yom Tov. Rabban Gamliel Omer, Af Matiach L'Shole. Rabban Gamliel says you also could submerge it in water. Tanya, Amar Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Tzadok. Rabbi Elazar.
1 second, Rabbi. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
1 second. What is the Gemara saying? If there's more bad than good, if there's psilas meruba al oichal, therefore what? What is it saying? Is there anyone? It's asking. Is there anyone who would allow taking out the food? What is it saying?
Because from halachot of Shabbat we know that you're never allowed to take psola. Even if
Why would
it's
you
more.
take so? You would take the good out of it.
Let's say a situation we're talking about where there is
Oh,
a
it's
little bit of bad and a lot of good.
a little bit of bad and a lot of good.
Yeah.
Bowl of
Oh,
cherries.
so then right? Why would you take out the bad? You're saying?
Why'd you take out the good if that's majority?
We're saying you're allowed to take bad. We're saying you're allowed to take bad.
You're allowed because that's the easiest method of.
Because this
getting-
is the method. At the end of the day, it's easy.
But if it's the opposite, if there's a lot of bad and a little good,
Yeah.
therefore you wouldn't take out
Then
the bad.
then you take out good.
Then you just take out the
You
good.
take out good.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. But in that case, you wouldn't be able to take out the bad
No.
because that's not a normal thing to do because that's not you're not trying to eat over there.
It might be normal way of berira because berer is always take out bad.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not allowing anymore. We usually Mishnah says you're allowed to do it normal, but there's an exception. We're saying at the end of the day, if this normal you're not allowed to do it. If there's a lot of bad, you don't take out the bad. You don't do normally taking out bad.
Mm-hmm.
You take out good only.
Why? Because it's not normal. Because
Because
it's not the easiest way to get to the
yeah.
good.
Because we are concerned that you shouldn't exert yourself on
Because
yourself.
over there already you're really separating. Like over there, it's unnecessary for you to separate, basically.
No, there's a separate isur of exerting yourself.
Oh, because of exerting.
Exerting yourself.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I see.
Separate isur, because we don't call this borer anymore.
Mhm.
Because we just delineated that really you could take out bad from good. But now a new isur kicks in that if there is a lot of bad, you're now prohibited to take out bad, not because of borer, but because of exertion.
And both Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai, they're both talking. How do we know they're both talking about the same case? Meaning maybe Beis Shammai is talking about a case where there's more good than bad, and Beis Hillel is talking about more bad than good or something.
No, this is a
Can't be.
general rule that whenever we have a Mishnah, they probably have the same case,
Uh-huh.
and they're arguing on that same case. They
Uh-huh.
understand which case
Okay.
each one is talking about. Let's get to the Mishnah. Tanya Amar Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Tzadok. Rabbi Elazar son of Rabbi Tzadok said, "Kachaya min hagan shel bet Rabban Gamliel." This is what was happening in the house of Rabban Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel, by the way, was the prince. He was the leader. He was obviously more affluent than everyone else, and he had servants. And there did the following: Shayu miviyin dali malot adashim, and they would bring a dali, which is a bucket full of beans. Umatzifin alav mayim, and they would pour in water. V'nimtza ochel lemata upsolet lemala, and it would come out that all the food edible would be on the bottom, and all the inedible garbage would flow on top. And that's what they did. Vatanya ibcha. But we learned the opposite. That they actually poured water and the good flowed on top. Lokasha ha be'afra ha begili. This is talking about dirt, and here is talking about straw. So if you had beans, and there were beans that could be mixed with straw, and there could be a pile of beans that's mixed with stones. Obviously, the beans themselves are heavier than the straw and lighter than the stones. So when it comes to beans with straw, the method of separating would be to make the straw float to the top, which is what Rabbi Gamliel did it. We don't do this, but Rabbi Gamliel did it. And in the case of beans mixed with stones, they would make the beans float to the top. How would they make beans float to the top? They would stir it, and the lighter beans would flow up. Then they would scoop it, and the stones would not even take hold.
Right, stones just drops in.
Drop much faster.
Doesn't flow.
Doesn't float. Okay, so we got to the next Mishnah. Let's see Mishnah quickly. Let's see if we could do the Mishnah. Bet Shammai Omrim, Bet Shammai say, En mishalchin bayom tov. One is not allowed to send presents on Yom Tov, ela manot, but only clothing. Ubet Hillel Omrim.
Shalchin is like present. When you say presents, like food.
Presents could be anything. Could be clothing. It could be clothing. It could be food, or ornaments, like jewelry items. So Bet Shammai
You can't send.
prohibit
You can't receive.
send
Like-
to a friend
Uh-huh.
only clothing. Rashi explains.
Yeah, what is this malacha? I don't
Like carrying, I guess?
Oh, I'm sorry, my mistake. Bet Shammai manot. Manot doesn't mean clothing.
Gifts.
It means food items.
Ah.
Like it says in by Purim, shalach manot.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, my
That's why I
mistake.
said it's food.
Yeah, you're right. It could be other. No, look, you could choose to send clothing. We're going to be talking about clothing later. We're talking about jewelry later. But they prohibit. Bet Shammai say, when they say you're only allowed to send portions of food, what are they really saying? Only portions of food, to exclude clothing or jewelry, whatever other presents you might want to give somebody. You can't do it.
Manot comes from mana.
Mana means
Food. Mana? Like mana? Like the
no.
whole...
That's man. Mana is English word.
Uh-huh.
Hebrew word for
Man.
manna is
Memnon.
man.
Man. There's no
Man.
aleph or ayin.
There's no right.
Uh-huh.
So, but there is a Hebrew word mana, which means a portion, and it always means portion of food.
Shalat manot. Means
And manot means many portions. So on Purim, we send what? Potato chips, whatever, grape juice, cookies, cake, whatever, but always food, right?
So portions.
That's why it's called manot. There's a whole,
Send portions.
There's a-
Shalot manot, right?
Shalot manot?
Send portions. If you translate it.
yeah, present of portion. Present that is food. Shalach manot means
Shalach means send.
so to send.
Manot means
Send the
portion.
present, specifically send the present.
Uh-huh.
That is mana, which is food.
Okay.
So again, back to Mishnah. Bet Shammai Omrim Ein Mishalchin B'Yom Tov El Manot. Bet Shammai only allowed to send to a friend on Yom Tov manot. Obviously, because since it's food, you're allowed to. Bet Hillel Omrim Mishalchin Behema Chaya V'Of. You're even allowed to send animals. Ben Chayim Ben Shkutim. Whether they're alive, whether they're shechted. Mishalchin Yeinot. We're also allowed to send wine, shmanim, oils, siltot, and flour, vikitniot and beans. Avalot tvuah, but not grain. Tvuah is grain, that needs to be ground,
Ground.
because we're not allowed to grind it.
Uh-huh.
Rabbi Shimon matir b'tvuah. Rabbi Shimon allows tvuah. Okay, so you know what? We're going to get into this next time. With Zad Hashem, we're going to finish also first parak pretty soon. No, it's not second parak. The second parak is talking about Iruf Tavshelin. There's a lot of questions about Iruf Tavshelin, a lot of detail. It's a little easier, Gemara. And Iruf Tavshelin is, of course, something that we always have to do when Yom Tov comes out on Erev Shabbat. And if you forget, you can't cook for on Yom Tov for Shabbat, you have a problem, you might be subsiding on very little food. So, something to look forward to. Okay, Ravatai, have a good night.
Thank you, Rabbi.
What's this text you send out on Thursday? You have classes also.
I'm teaching, Ravatai, on Thursday night, I'm teaching Zera Shimshon. which is a Sefer Segula Leparnasa, Segula for Shalom Bayit. Join in Thursday night. It's a little later. You could do it from home.
Some people don't know where it is.
So one's on Zoom.
We're gonna
What's that?
attach
Look
a
at the
link.
description below.
We're gonna attach a link.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.